Have you ever wondered why we are afraid of the dark? A question that has crossed the minds of many of us. From toddlers to adults, from the east to the west, the fear of the dark is a universal phenomenon that transcends cultures, age groups, and geographical boundaries. Take a moment and consider this. Is it really the darkness that instills fear in us, or is it something more profound? The answer lies not in the absence of light, but in the presence of the unknown. In the realm of psychology, there's a term for an extreme fear of night or darkness: nyctophobia. However, it's important to note that nyctophobia is more than just a fear of the dark. It's a fear of what the darkness could be concealing. Imagine you're in a room. You're familiar with its layout, every nook and cranny. You know where the furniture is placed, where the door is. But as soon as the lights go out, a wave of uncertainty washes over you. The room hasn't changed, but your perception of it has. The familiar has turned into the unfamiliar, the known into the unknown. That's the crux of the matter, the unknown. The darkness masks what's around us, creating a blanket of uncertainty. It takes away our ability to anticipate, leaving our minds to fill in the blanks. And often our minds tend to imagine the worst. Darkness, in essence, is just an absence of light. But the fear it induces is far from simple. It's the fear of the unheard, the unfelt. It's the fear of the potential dangers that could be lurking in the shadows, unseen and unknown. When we can't see, we can't predict, and when we can't predict, we feel vulnerable, uncertain and afraid. This is the core of nyctophobia, the fear of what could be there but isn't seen. So it appears that our fear of the dark is more about what we can't see and less about the absence of light. Our brains have a remarkable ability to seek out patterns, often transforming random shapes into familiar ones, like spotting various objects in the clouds. This adaptive behavior is rooted in our fundamental need for visual information to create a complete spatial picture, particularly in low-light conditions. It's intriguing to note that our fear of the dark typically peaks between the ages of 4 and 6, gradually waning by age 9, although for many individuals this fear lingers throughout their lives. It's safe to say that all of us experience some form of fear or discomfort related to darkness, albeit in varying degrees and expressions. Surprisingly, 40% of adults confess to experiencing fear in their own homes when darkness falls. In an attempt to alleviate this fear, many people resort to sleeping with lights on. However, this coping mechanism may come with adverse effects. Studies indicate that dependence on artificial light at night could potentially lead to obesity, depression, sleep disorders, diabetes, heart disease, hastened brain aging, elevated blood pressure, and increased risk of cancer. So, is light truly better for us than darkness? But how did this fear of the dark originate? Let's travel back in time to a world where the night wasn't just a time for rest, but a time of danger and uncertainty. Our ancestors lived in an environment teeming with predators that emerged when the sun went down. Darkness cloaked these threats, making them all the more terrifying. Our early human relatives, lacking the physical prowess to fend off these nighttime predators, relied on their wits to survive. They quickly learned to associate darkness with danger. As the sun set, they would retreat to the relative safety of their dwellings or gather around the comforting glow of a fire. This association between darkness and danger became an ingrained survival instinct, passed down through generations. It's what we now call fear of the dark. This instinct served our ancestors well. It kept them on their toes, alert to the rustle of leaves or the snap of a twig that could signal a lurking predator. But fast forward to the present day and you'll find that this fear of the dark isn't quite as necessary. We live in well-lit homes in cities that never sleep, where the threats of the night have largely been neutralized, yet despite the safety of our modern world, the fear of the dark persists. Why is that? Well, our psyche still carries the imprints of our ancestors' experiences. The darkness, devoid of any visual information, is still perceived as a void filled with potential threats. Even though we know logically there's nothing lurking in the shadows, our instinctual brain is still wired to expect danger when the lights go out. The dark, in essence, represents the unknown, the unseen, and the unprepared for. And it's this primal fear of the unknown that keeps us checking under the bed or jumping at shadows. It's the echo of a time when darkness meant danger, a time when being afraid of the dark could mean the difference between life and death. Despite the comforts of our modern homes, our minds are still wired to associate darkness with danger. But is there more to our fear of the dark than just evolution and survival instincts? Indeed there is. Here we delve into the role of media and storytelling. It's no secret that our society is saturated with narratives that paint the dark as a place of danger and deceit. From horror films that play on our deepest fears to chilling ghost stories whispered around campfires, darkness is often depicted as a breeding ground for malevolent forces that lurk unseen. This portrayal of darkness as something sinister not only reflects our innate fear, but it also amplifies it. The more we consume these narratives, the more ingrained this fear becomes. Our minds become a theater, projecting scenes of terror and suspense every time the lights go out. We're left to wonder, are the monsters under our beds merely the product of our imagination? Or are they a manifestation of the tales we've been told? So the stories we consume can indeed have a profound impact on our perceptions of darkness. Is it possible to overcome this fear of the dark, you might ask? Well, the answer is a resounding yes. There are several techniques that can help us face and conquer this deep-seated fear. One of the most effective methods is exposure therapy. This involves gradually and repeatedly exposing yourself to the thing you're afraid of, in this case, the dark. It's like dipping your toes into a pool before diving in. You start small, maybe by sitting in a dimly lit room, then progressively spend time in darker environments. Over time, your mind begins to understand that the dark is not a threat, but simply a part of our world. But what if you're lying in bed, heart pounding, unable to sleep because of the fear? That's where relaxation techniques come into play. Deep breathing, progressive muscle relaxation, or even visualizing a peaceful scene can help calm your mind and body. And let's not forget the best recommended technique, of course, watching relaxing GSD Brainers videos. These techniques can be like a soothing lullaby for your fear, lulling it into a deep, peaceful slumber. Now, it's important to remember that it's okay to have fears. They're a part of being human, and seeking help to overcome your fears is not a sign of weakness, but a testament to your strength and determination. It's about taking control, not just of your fear, but of your life. So what's on the other side of fear? Imagine a world where the dark holds no terror, a world where you can gaze at the stars twinkling in the night sky, or simply enjoy a peaceful night's sleep, undisturbed by fear. After all, conquering our fear of the dark could mean opening up a world of possibilities, like gazing at the stars. And remember, the fear of the dark helped us survive. It's an important survival tool ingrained in your DNA. Use it wisely and it might just save your life. And remember, many of the monsters that haunt your mind in the darkest hours of the night are mere figments of imagination. Or are they not? Let's delve into that question. Is science actually supports the existence of vampires? Click on this video to find out.